In this video, I'll be discussing the Hoovers, one of the most controversial and disliked gangs in Los Angeles. Their reputation has been shaped by various factors, including early accusations of being responsible for the death of Raymond Washington, a founding member of the Crips. While the Hoovers are frequently held accountable for initiating many of the rivalries they face today, it's clear that they remain unapologetic, operating under their well-known everybody killer philosophy. Hoover's history. The Hoovers have several different sets under their umbrella and are a significant presence in LA, with influence spreading throughout the country. Their original stronghold, known as Fortress Hoover, is now part of the Rolling 40s turf, referred to as the Dark Side. The remaining Hoover sets include the Five Deuces, 5 9s, 7 4s, 8 trays, 9 deuces, 9 4s, 107s, and 11 Deuce Hoovers. At one time, all Hoover sets claimed Crip, but most dropped the Crip identity and now claim criminal. The only remaining Hoover set to claim Crip is the Five Deuce Hoovers. The Hoovers have beefs with several gangs, including the Rolling 30 Crips and all the Neighborhood Crips sets. These include the Rolling 40s, Rolling 50s, Rolling 60s, 6 to 5 Menlos, Rolling 90s, Rolling 100s, and the East Coast Crips. The Hoovers also have issues with their former allies, the Main Street Crips, as well as the Denver Lane Bloods. Although the Hoovers are on bad terms with most gangs, they do maintain alliances with a few. They get along with certain gangster Crip sets like the 8-Tray Gangster Crips and the 5-1 Troubles. They also have ties with Long Beach gangs like the Insanes and the Grape Street Crips from Watts. Additionally, they are on good terms with the Inglewood families and the Black Pete Stones, BPS. Now that I've provided some background, let's talk about their long-standing rivalry with the Rolling 60s. The Rolling 60s are one of LA's most notorious gangs and have established branches across the country. They originated in the 1970s and have been a significant name ever since. Located on the west side of south-central Los Angeles, the Rolling 60s control a large territory. They are known for their allegiance to the Neighborhood Crip Alliance, often referred to as the Neighborhood Car. This alliance includes gangs like the East Coast Crips, Rolling 40s, Rolling 90s, Rolling 100s, and more. Despite these long-standing alliances, the 60s have had clashes with other neighborhood Crip gangs, such as the Rolling 40s. The Rolling 60s also have several rivals, including the 8-Tray Gangster Crips, who were once close allies. Additionally, they beef with blood gangs like the Brims, Inglewood families, BPS, and Crenshaw Mafias. Other rivals include the 5-1 Troubles and all Hoover sets. A tragic case. Now that I've provided a breakdown of both sets, let's dive into a specific case. Alonzo and his friend Donnell, both affiliated with Hoover, were riding their bikes in one of the most dangerous areas to be a Trey Hoover's turf incident. Alonzo and Donnell were riding their bikes through a Trey Hoover's turf on 80th for Hoover. Soon, they heard a car pull up with 2 men inside. One of the men got out and began firing at them. Both Alonzo and Donnell fell off their bikes and ran in different directions. Alonzo managed to escape, but Donnell wasn't so fortunate. He fell in the middle of the street while being chased and was shot 6 times. The shooter stood over him and fired more shots, finishing him off. Over 4 people witnessed the shooting and provided the license plate number of the car, which was registered to the shooter's aunt. Several witnesses also identified a Rolling 60 Crip named Archie as the shooter. Archie's affiliation with the Rolling 60s was used against him during the trial. He had 60s tattooed on him and, during a jail visit, was overheard discussing plans to harm Hoover members in the visiting room. His hatred for Hoovers was presented as the motive. Archie was sentenced to life without parole on July 1, 2010. Around 11 p.m. on July 1, 2010, multiple gangs gathered at the Bamboo Club in Lancaster, which is now closed. Bloods on Point members like Ricky, Calvin, and Flirt were present. Flirt spotted several Blood members, including Kevin, as well as Hoovers like Java and Jughead. Ricky got into an altercation with Kevin and agreed to settle it with a fight after the club. Calvin backed up Ricky, and they approached Kojak, a Rolling 60 member, who agreed to assist in the fight. However, the situation escalated unexpectedly. Java crept up on Kojak over unrelated issues and shot him, blowing his brains out. In response, Flirt fired a gun into the air in a futile attempt to stop the chaos. The crowd in the parking lot scattered, and Java fled in an orange car. Initially, Police suspected Flirt due to his reckless shooting but later determined that Java was responsible. Java was arrested in Mississippi after Calvin turned informant, identified him in a lineup, and testified against him. Java, despite denying the shooting, was convicted due to multiple witnesses and was sentenced to 75 years to life. Palms Motel Incident. On April 28, 2012, Jamon and Michael were with two women, Kiana and Sean Ice, at the Palms Motel on 85th and Fig, deep in 8 Trey Hoover territory. Kiana heard commotion outside, where a Hoover member named Tiny Bosco was yelling, "Yellow, bring your nappers outside and fight my homegirl." Kiana and Sean Ice were terrified and refused to go outside. Bosco, noticing the men inside the room, began taunting them, calling them naps and sissies. Jamon and Michael retaliated verbally, claiming they had Hoover backup coming soon. This decision backfired, as Bosco had over 6 associates with him. Jamon and Michael called for their own reinforcements, but no one responded. Left with no other options, they called 911. Before police could arrive, Bosco and his crew kicked down the door. Bosco started beating Michael while Jamon fled the scene, leaving Michael behind. Sean Ice and Kiana also ran away. Bosco eventually shot Michael in the face, killing him, before leaving the scene with his associates. Sean Ice and Kiana later reported the incident to the police, identifying Bosco and CK as the perpetrators. Investigations revealed that the entire altercation stemmed from a dispute over money Kiana owed Bosco, as she was allegedly one of his prostitutes. Michael and Jamon had tried to intervene, but their involvement led to Michael's death. Both Bosco and CK were convicted and received life sentences for their roles in the crime.